Well, I mean, you got a lot of familiar names from last year's championship team. Logan, kind of the surprise team here, got here by way of, upsetting a couple teams and pushing their way into this one. They've been overachievers all season long.
That's right. The Grizzlies come in here with a 14-3 record, only grabbing the 7 seed, and that has to do a little bit with the strength of schedule. In the Utah Lacrosse playoff system, they use Lax Power to build their playoff brackets, and so they were the 7th best team this year, even with that 14-3 record. These two teams have played each other, Steve, a March 14th contest with Brighton taking home a 19-12 win. So.
Yeah, pretty early in the season, it's hard to tell how much a team has changed. So we'll see. The Grizzlies have been playing really well though, and Brighton always a tough competitor.
They sure are, and they're going to come up with this first face-off to kick off this game. That's number 20 for the Bengals, Connor Owen, scooping up that ground ball. He actually leads the team in ground balls, coming into this game with 101 ground balls. Also leads the team in caused turnovers with 47. So keep an eye out for number 20 for Brian Owen, and we'll see if he is a difference maker in this game. Bengals with the ball, working on their offense. Great shot there by Schmidt. Goes just wide.
Oh, good look early. You'd like to see him put that more on the meat of the cage with how close he was to the goal on that one.
And the Bengals retain. Oh, and there's our first goal of the game. That's Easton Albert able to get that spin move and get past his defender, go one-on-one with the goalie.
Yeah, it's a great question mark dodge. You drive up from GLE, get past and get just enough room to roll back, and the goalie has to adjust. He's looking to move up the field with you and kind of move on his line. He steps off that pipe, and then there's just enough space to squeeze it back by him.
Easton Albert, a junior, All-State honorable mention, currently talking to SVU and the Utes to see if there's a potential for some college ball, Steve.
Yeah, SVU, a long travel, but a lot of familiar faces out there. They like to recruit Utah pretty heavily.
Absolutely. As we have this second face-off of the game, it's number 33 for Brighton. It's going to be Taylor Owens. And the Bengals able to come up with it. So far, it's been all Bengals with Matthew Cirillo coming away with that ground ball. Gets it up to Schmidt, their leader. Schmidt, the little brother of a former Brighton player, Ashton Schmidt. Remember him a couple years ago?
Ashton, yes.
Plays the same way, super quick, very agile. Loves to play that position from behind, and just the quarterback of the offense. And there's another shot by Brighton off the post. That's a shot by Noah Lund. He gets the ball to Peterson.
This Brighton offense just keeps that pressure on. You see they move the ball quickly, and they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. It reminds me of, we called the University of Utah games, and their offense runs a very similar way. They don't relax or let the defense relax at all. It's just go, go, go.
Yep, Coach Holman calls that playing fast, and that's what you'll see from Brighton today. And this is our first chance to get a look at the Logan offense, who are led by Brandon Dodd, 73 goals on the season, 33 assists, averaging 6.24 points per game, leading the state in goals, and just a prolific goal scorer.
If you follow lacrosse in Utah, it shouldn't be an unfamiliar name to you. Brandon Dodd's been a great player for a few years now.
I believe he's the yes, he was an All-American as they voted last Saturday, and he was also the position MVP at attack and a first-team All-Stater. So it'll be interesting to see what Brighton has in store for him defensively as they get the ball on that turnover and get it into their offense.
Tough break for the Grizzlies there. You get your offense, you get set up, and just a bad connection, a bad pass and catch, and you turn the ball over.
Another shot. Steve, all their shots have come from that wing, so it'll be interesting to see if Logan can put a pull over there and maybe slide a little sooner, as Brighton's got a couple good looks from that side, a couple off the pipe, though. We'll see if they can clear.
Something I'm noticing, and I don't know if it's just the athleticism of Brighton. They've just got so many good players and athletes all around. Logan looks a step slower. Maybe they're just playing a little bit casual. I don't know that that's necessarily a bad sign. Sometimes that shows that they've already kind of settled in and gotten rid of those those big game jitters. But they seem to be a step behind on the last clear. We saw it when they were trying to ride against Brighton. We'll see if they kind of can up the tempo a little bit.
It's good defense by number 30 for Logan. Aliki Mantagi getting that great defense, that great takeaway check. And Logan's trying to clear. I believe, Steve, this is the first time Logan has been in a Division I or Class A semifinal. They've won it at the D2 level, the championship, but I think this is the furthest they progressed at the higher level. So maybe a little bit of nerves. Their coach, Clay Christofferson, has been around the block. There was actually an article in the newspaper in Logan talking about how the roots of lacrosse in Utah at all started up in Logan with Clay.
Oh, really?
It talked a lot about how when he was in high school, they would travel to Colorado. He would just get a bunch of his friends, and they would travel there and just try to find teams to play. It was a pretty interesting article. So,
well, Cache Valley's done a great job. They've really, really built the sport up there. Skyview had those great teams a few years ago. Logan's been a staple in old Division II or what's now Class B. And you can see why. They have athletic players. They play well, and they control the ball. But also you've got new, help me out with the name, I just lost it, the new school that just opened up in Cache Valley as well. They'll be playing in the Class C. Skyridge, I believe.
Oh, great shot there by Thomas, able to find space. Thomas has 45 goals on the season, Steve. I think these other attackmen hit Rio Thomas and Kean Ben Jacob kind of get overshadowed by Dodd, but 45 goals on the season is nothing to sneeze at.
No, you don't get to the Class A semifinals by being a slouch or depending just on one player. You see, he just drives again. You see that offense initiated from behind. The cage drives up and is able to dump it over the far shoulder of the keeper. Sorry, I believe it's Ridgeline that's up in Cache Valley. Sky Ridge is former Lehigh.
Okay, there are too many ridges going on. Score is tied 1-1 midway through this first quarter. That's Sione Lund, number 99, coming away with that face-off win. Steve, what do you know about Sione?
Well, he's rocking that 99.
We love the 99.
Doing it well. Probably a fan of your boy, Paul Rabel. I was gonna say though, the face-off X, things seem to be pretty even as far as getting the clamp and getting a push out with the ball, but Brighton just using superior hustle to get on those face-offs. Logan's gonna need to do something about that if they want to stay in this one.
Lund is actually on a full-ride scholarship in football to Stanford.
That's right.
And so he, after this season, will be heading to Palo Alto to join the Cardinal and in hopes of becoming the next great Stanford running back in a long line of traditional powerhouses. Obviously, the last one, Christian McCaffrey, declaring for the draft. So it's good to see him, though, out, exercising the lacrosse stick and getting out there with his teammates. His brother is actually on the team, number 3, Noah Lund. So, always out there playing his brother is always fun.
Yeah, I saw an interesting statistic right after the draft this year for the NFL that I think it was 93% of the players that got drafted were multi-sport athletes in high school. So if you're looking for something else for your kid to do, football's a great one because it has that physicality, that lateral movement that you use in lacrosse. And if you don't have a kid playing lacrosse and you're just tuned in for some reason, lacrosse is a great sport. It translates to almost everything else. You play defense a lot like you do in basketball or soccer. You've got a lot of running like soccer, etc.
Great shot there by 28, Kimball Reese, getting his 17th goal of the season. Just a great individual effort coming down that right side. Yeah. Giving the Bengals that 2-1 lead.
Kimball just using his quick feet here. He sets his guy up, gives him a little shimmy shake, drives down that side, uses his size, and then just a bounce shot. When it's that close in, it's hard for the goalie to get once you're, 5 yards from the cage.
Again, Steve, another shot from that wing. Maybe something to watch for as we keep going down through this game. Brighton takes that 2-goal lead with 5:33 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, so interesting here. I don't have the stat book in front of me, but Brighton has had a lot more shots than Logan. Logan's going to need to figure out how to get some possession and hold on to that ball, eat up some of this clock, or start just getting more shots on cage because you can't let a team like Brighton get shot after shot after shot. They're really going to start to fall, and they're going to punish you.
Nice handle there by Lund. That's Noah Lund out there, number 3, looking for space. Steve, you talked about Logan getting possession. I think once they do, they got to get it to Dodd. He's their leader. I don't think he has a touch on the ball so far today. Another shot from that wing, Steve. That's number 7, Chase Ebling, getting just his 5th goal of the season, able to get the Brighton lead 3-1.
Yeah, I don't know if Logan's just not used to the speed or if their slides are coming late. It doesn't look like we had a slide at all on that one. Just another alley dodge. On the one before, the dodge came and hit the top shoulder of the Brighton player, so he was able to just run through it. You want to slide to get in front of that guy, meet him, and turn him away. So we'll see if Logan can make that adjustment and stop those alley dodges for shots.
Sione Lund out there for Brighton, taking on Sutton Kaplan, number 29, who leads Logan in face-off wins. 137 wins on the season. So a good record there for Kaplan, but Brighton comes away with it. Lund was looking for Cage, but opted to hold up. Gets it to his brother, Noah.
I think a wise move there. Usually your face-off guys aren't your best shooters or best handlers. He saw an opening. He drove in, saw the defender closing in on him, and thought better of it.
Justice Peterson with the ball. Gets it over to Lund. And it looks like the Bengals will work around their offense, working that side again. Nothing going. Oh, nice pass. Oh, what a pass by Schmidt. Finds Avalos streaking down the middle and gets the easy goal.
Yeah, Avalos does a great job of just getting a step on his man. That's all you need. Gets that great cut. And, again, that offense initiated from behind the cage is the trend we're seeing in lacrosse right now. I really like the way it's set up with one man dropping below GLE with the ball and passing it to a man that was coming up towards GLE. It puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
Looks like we've got a timeout, Steve. 4:08 left in this first quarter. Brighton leads 4-1 in this first Class A semifinal. We're going to take a quick break and come back soon.
Tribal West is the first name in lacrosse out west. For more than 15 years, Tribal West has been gearing up beginners to ballers. Our online store is super easy, and we save you time and money. And team stores, let us do your work. Our deals for both men's and women's MCLA teams are flat out laxtastic. We just made that up. Sublimated unis, made in the USA and delivered on time. Tribal West, proud to be family owned and player operated. Tribal West, look good, play better.
And we're back. Always love seeing Tribal West Lacrosse out in the community. Today, a big sponsor for us on this broadcast. They're just up the street, see, literally up the street. If you just took 94th up and then over to 7th, you'll hit it. So, always good to see a local lacrosse company sponsoring us here today. If you've got time after the game or don't have anything going on in the near future, go over there. Check out their store. Lots of great product.
Yeah, Tim, important to support your local lacrosse store. You can buy stuff online. You can buy stuff elsewhere. But these are lacrosse players. These are former players. These are coaches. These are guys that know the game. They can help you string heads. They can help you, find the right gear for what position your new kid is playing. Whatever it is, it's a good time. So,
4:08 left in this first quarter. The owner of Tribal West, Fish Bartlett, coached at Jordan for a long time.
Made Jordan a staple. The Beat Diggers always were a team to be reckoned with up here.
So a little lacrosse history there as we get a face-off win, a good shot. Logan's goalie, though, up to the challenge. That's Zach Anderson out there for Logan and able to get a stick on one, which should build his confidence heading into the latter part of this quarter.
Frustrating turn of events for the Grizzlies. They just can't seem to hang on to a possession. The one time they've been able to run a possession, they got a goal. You really need to settle it down. It's not what you want to see, especially out of a timeout. Need a clean transition to clear.
Ball is still down at the midline. Logan comes up with it, and they're going to get it up to Dodd. Steve, I think this is Dodd's first touch there. Big boy coming out of the back. Again, he's got, let's see here, he's got 73 goals on the season, 33 assists. So we'll see what they can do. Oh, great shot. Great save. Logan retains. Dodd scoops it up, tries to find a guy up top open, and we've got a flag down. And they're just going to blow the whistle. So we'll get a chance to see the Logan man-up opportunity, see if they can get a goal here to bring back this deficit within reach.
Yeah, great face dodge from Thomas there to get a look at the cage. Seemed like he put it right into the keeper, though. He'll want that one back. But you see Dodd so quickly grabs the rebound, looks upfield, tries to find that cutter. Great job by Brighton defense, though, getting their sticks in the passing lanes.
Penalty on Conor Owen down there. I didn't see what the penalty was for, Steve. My guess was a slash.
Yeah, I think we got a slash on that one, Tim.
So we'll see how the Logan man-up team does here. Again, Steve, if for those who are just tuning in for maybe your first lacrosse game or don't know much about strategy, the opportunity for a man-up squad is to get the defense moving. You can find that open space, but no need there as Dodd just finds a little bit of space in the middle, able to capitalize, give Logan their second goal.
We saw this a lot from Harriman yesterday. You have a man playing on crease, kind of floating around, and he goes away from the ball, and then watch him cut straight there to the ball, 1-2 steps, catch, and finish.
Great finish there by Dodd. No wonder he's leading the state in goals this year. Able to get that off-ball movement going, able to find that space in the back of the net. So,
like you said, Tim, did a great job of just moving the ball, getting the defense's heads moving and watching the ball, and then they lose track of a man in their zone.
So Logan able to pull a goal back, making the score 4-2 for Brighton. 2:26 left in the first quarter. With Lund out there for Brighton taking the face-off. Looks like they had a pole out there, Steve, trying to slow Lund down.
It looks like it paid off.
It did. Number 9 coming up with the ground ball. That's Hayden Jensen for Logan. The Grizzlies, though, still having a little trouble, and we've got a flag down. So
here goes Dodd.
Good look. Unable to collect, though, as the ball hits the turf. Kills the play, and Logan will have another man-up opportunity. Steve, you think we'll see the same thing, or do you think they've got another trick up their sleeve?
Sometimes the coach will call in a set play, and sometimes you just have your players, you teach them lacrosse IQ, lacrosse knowledge, and tell them to swing the ball around, run kind of routines, if you will, like the triangle offense in basketball. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something similar. It looked like it paid off well that time. I always like to see that once the flag is down. Take a chance. Throw it to the crease, see if you can get a goal. Some people differ in opinion, but I like taking that chance to try to get a quick one while you have a free possession.
Siona Lund, the target of that penalty. Dodd tries to get a shot, but a good block there by the Brighton long poles, able to get their sticks in the lane. And the Grizzlies will still retain. There's Thomas. Thought about the shot. Goes back to Dodd. As the Grizzlies look to get that Brighton defense moving.
The Grizzlies do a great job of being a threat. You saw him look like he was going to pull the trigger there. And even if he really wasn't thinking about it, that's how you draw your man to you and you move the defense around.
Thomas with the ball. Tries to go back to Dodd. I'd like to see him put that in that right hand, Steve, and get around that stick, but turns it over. Brighton, though, looking to draw some contact, throws it out of bounds, and the Grizzlies will retain. So Brighton, a little uncharacteristic mistake there. Gives the ball back to Logan, but some great defense. And that's going to go off Brighton, and Logan will retain. Looks like the penalty is released, so we're back to even strength.
Good job by Brighton of playing a tight man-down zone there, getting their sticks in the passing lanes and the shooting lanes, and just not giving up any shots.
Good shot by Logan. Brighton able to come up with it.
Yeah, Stokes seemed to get a little turned around there. He got into the middle of the field, didn't have time maybe felt like he couldn't switch hands on it, and tried a little backhand shot but couldn't quite make it work.
Brighton goalie Houston Cranebowl just tosses it down, trying to find the attackman. We've got about 13 seconds left in the first quarter. Be a key for Logan to get a big goal here if they can. 5 seconds left. And they're just going to be content to, well, no, I thought they were going to be content to run out the clock, but they try to push it, but unable to connect. And time expires in this first quarter. Brighton with a 4-2 lead in this first Class A semifinal. We've got a great game for you folks. We're going to take a quick break, come back for the second quarter.
So the biggest difference between the Under Armour Command Head and the Command Low is the ability to form a mid to low pocket, whereas the original Command was designed to form a mid to high pocket. It really is the ideal head shape for attackmen and midfielders who like to shoot the ball. Through the narrow profile, it keeps the ball from hanging in the corners of the head, which is going to give players a more accurate shot. Another great benefit of the design is the glide scoop feature, which allows players to pick up ground balls more quickly and efficiently. Coming in at under 5 ounces, the Command Low is a lightweight option that doesn't compromise the performance benefits of the head. The head is constructed of a temperature stabilizing material that helps it hold up throughout the seasons. If you're a player looking for a lightweight head that delivers power and control, string up the Under Armour Command Low.
And we're back, lacrosse fans, for the second quarter of the first Class A semifinal between the number 3 seeded Brighton Bengals and the number 7 seeded Logan Grizzlies. Brighton was able to get out to a 4-1 lead, and Logan came back with the last goal of the quarter, making it a 4-2 contest. Steve, Brighton kind of dominated that first part of that first quarter with all the possession. And Logan, though, didn't give up, fought back, and is within 2 here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a question of time of possession in this game. If Logan can figure out how to get the ball off the face-off, how to get some takeaways, they've shown that they can score on this Brighton defense and they can play with the Bengals. However, Brighton runs such a potent offense and gets so many shots on cage that they're going to have to figure out how to do that to be able to run with them for 4 quarters.
It's number 33, Taylor Owens, coming up with the ground ball face-off win for Brighton. He was an academic All-American this year, Steve, so excelling on and off the field for the Bengals.
That's a good thing to see. Lacrosse isn't going to pay the bills for almost anybody in the country, so you like to see a kid who's got his ducks in a row.
Always fun to see. Plans on going to UVU after high school, then an LDS mission, and hopes to play at BYU when he comes back. So sounds like he's got his future figured out. There we go. Schmidt with a nice shot. Looks like it hit off the pipe. And Lund going to come up with it. Mike O'Malley out there, our official, kind of getting in the way.
Lund may be a little fortunate that O'Malley was standing right there. The official is part of the field.
Good shot by Corbett. No, excuse me, that's Reese. Able to get a nice shot, high to high though, and Logan able to save it. Another great save. Oh, and Schmidt, fortunate on the doorstep, able to get that garbage goal and put it in the back of the net. That's his first of the day.
Oh, and we've seen this a lot this week, and I think we'll continue to see it. When a shot goes on cage, somebody should crash to the cage. And as a defender, you've got to be aware of that too, that rebound is possibly going to pop out. Those garbage goals, as we like to call them, they're opportunities to score an easy one by just being in the right place at the right time.
If you're the defense, Steve, how do you prevent those?
You play below your man, and as soon as you see that shot going, if you didn't have any other responsibility, crash to the cage, especially if you're a pole or a defensive midi. Let one of the other guys up top run out for the fast break opportunity or things like that. But if you're close to the cage, crash to that cage and keep your man on your back.
Little box out maneuver then, like we see in basketball. Again, like you were talking earlier, lacrosse is a sport that carries over a lot of traits from another sport, and that's one of them. Great save, though, great takeaway by Logan, and they're able to get their first possession in the second quarter.
I think Logan had a real opportunity to push the fast break there, but it looks like they have decided, hey, let's slow it down. Let's play our 6-on-6. We know we can have success here instead of throwing the ball away. I think it's a wise decision given how little possession they had in the first quarter.
Thomas getting guarded by the short stick. That's Keb Heasley. And out there just sticking it to him. Good defense there by Brighton. Oh, big ground ball for Logan. They're going to get it up top.
Yeah, Noah Christopherson on that ground ball, he did a great job of. We tell our players to kiss their stick, right? Bring it straight up to your face mask. Don't give that defender any room to get his stick on yours. He does a great job of that.
Logan unable to come up with that ground ball, taken away by Brighton. That's number 1, Isaiah Avalos. Avalos is one of the team captains, Steve, for this Brighton squad. Coming into this game with 23 goals, 2 assists. Has a couple ground balls, couple caused turnovers, couple face-offs, so kind of a do-it-all type midfielder. We're going to have a whistle. The refs all have their hands up. There was an extra ball that crept its way onto the field. The old turf monster decided he wanted to come play today. That's Lund with the ball. And another whistle. Looks like we're going to have a timeout by Brighton. So after a little bit of chaos there, Coach Shafroth just wants to settle the nerves, get the team all focused in, see if they can't get another goal here, Steve.
Yeah, good idea to take a timeout and just settle things down. I think you're in this whole quarter has been kind of messy. Just get your guys refocused and set up give them something set with how you want them to play coming out of this timeout.
If we look at some of the last results for Brighton, like I said, coming into the season 11-6, 2 of those losses were to California teams, Palo Verdes and Santa Margarita, at the beginning of the year. Steve, it's always good to see teams go and travel, play some of these tougher squads around the West, and able to really get a feeling for who you are, what your team represents. So good to see that. Another loss came to Juan Diego early in the season. Then they had a 12-11 overtime loss to Olympus. Olympus had a great season this year. Then they had a 6-9 loss over Alta, rival Alta. Can't like that. And then they ended the season with an 11-10 loss to the number 1 seeded Park City. So 4 in-state losses, although it's a great Class A teams. They, like I said earlier in the broadcast, they beat Logan on March 14th, 19-12 in a shootout. So Brighton's certainly a travel-tested team. I was going to look it up, but didn't really have time before I came. I think they've been to the last 5 or 6 semifinals in the top division. So a team that has a hunch for the postseason.
Yeah, they've been a staple in Division I/Class A. And there's a reason for that. You got good athletes that come out and play. You've got football players that come out and play. They've done a great job of building the program with athletic players, but also with skilled players, guys who have been playing a long time, building that youth program. That's how you build a solid team.
Absolutely. Having that youth program is key to having success at the varsity level. I think it was 2 years ago they graduated 22 seniors on that team. So not only, Steve, do they have success at the youth level, but they're keeping those guys around all the way through their senior year, which is good to see too. You hate to see guys kind of drop off as they progress through high school. So got about 8:17 left in the second quarter. Brighton, after the timeout, content to just kind of hold it, work it around, see if they can get another good look. After dominating that first half of the first quarter. Oh, that was a shot. That looked into me, Steve. I don't know about you, but
it's hard for me to say if it completely crossed the plane. That's the question, and the official has to make that same determination too, and not easy to tell. So I think they have a better angle than I do, so I'll defer to them.
To be fair, our ref there, Cole Sloan, was right on the doorstep and had a great angle of it. So He judged, though, that it did not cross that plane. Perhaps our replay guy could get us a replay in the next break or something. But Logan with the ball, 5-2 is your score. Brighton with the lead. We'll see if Logan can get a good shot on goal. They're going to initiate from up top. Nice little dodge. Oh, but a nice slide double team by Brighton. And they're able to get a triple team and steal the ball. Thomas unable to beat that triple team. Would have liked to see a little faster play like we talked about earlier in the broadcast, but also find a teammate.
Yeah, easier said than done, Tim. But, yeah, you want to see him roll away from pressure and then find that guy. If you've got two men that slid to you, there's two of your teammates that will be open, and you can create on offense.
We've got a replay from that last goal that was not a goal. We'll see what happens here. Great shot by
Watch this laser
Reese.
just hit the top pipe, and it goes
hard to tell.
quickly.
Hard to tell. Good replay, though. Brighton turns the ball over, though, and Logan's going to take it. So probably the right call, though, by Cole Salone. Trivia, Steve, where did Cole Salone go to high school?
I want to say Highland High School just because. No, it's Judge. I got a little help on that one, but it's Judge.
Knew I had some Judge alums in the trailer, so he did. He went to Judge. Little brother played at Judge as well. Great family. Spent some time in Phoenix in pharmacy school, and then came back this year. So good to have him back, one of the better refs in the state. As Logan had the ball, great turnover, though, caused turnover by Brighton, and they're able to clear. So haven't had a goal here in a little bit. It'll be interesting to see what Brighton opts to do here.
Brighton seems to have slowed down their offense a little bit. I wonder if they talked about Logan having time of possession is leading to Logan goals.
Great shot by Justice Peterson, getting his first goal of the game. Just a nice individual effort, able to find that far pipe.
I think that might be the fourth or fifth just alley dodge down the right side for goal. You see the slide man wasn't in a position, the hot man, to make a good slide on him. You would have liked to see him slagged in towards the middle of the field a little more so he could take an angle on him. But Brighton's doing a great job of just taking advantage of what the defense is giving them.
Peterson is headed to the University of Utah next year, going to play up on the hill, take his talents there, see how that plays out for him. Score is 6-2 here, 6:04 left in this first half. And Logan comes away with it, but we've got a whistle. They're going to call a hold on Logan. I believe that was number 33, who's been taking a couple of the faceoffs. Patrick Roy trying to slow down Sione Lund. I don't know if you can slow him down, Steve, but they're certainly trying.
Yeah, it's tough. Sione Lund is the prototypical face-off guy. You'd like a big athletic guy that can kind of throw his weight around and get the ball. We had a similar player when I played back in college who I always said he was built like a Ninja Turtle. His back was really big, and he was just able to get leverage on the ball and win us a lot of face-offs.
Probably because he ate lots of pizza.
Probably.
Brighton with the ball here. It's number 7, Chase Ebling. He's going to try to initiate this offense from X like we've talked about. And nothing going. Good defense by Logan. That's Reese. Oh, what a shot. Kimball Reese from the top of the box getting his second goal of the game.
A great shot. And that's just textbook. These Brighton players are really well coached. You drive, you try to initiate that play, and nothing happens for you, and so you pull it out and you immediately move the ball because the defense has moved based on your dodge and everything, and so you just want to move the ball and get it in a new stick.
I like what Reese did there. Didn't take a big wind-up, just a nice little short release. Makes it difficult for the goalie to find that coming out of the stick. So Brighton takes a 7-2 lead, 5 minutes left. And so far, this game's been all Brighton. Logan really having trouble getting possession. Then when they do, unable to really have a great possession and getting good looks on cage.
Yeah, you'd like to see the Grizzlies work it around, have everybody get it in their stick, get comfortable having the ball, and then initiate your offense just so you can calm things down and get some of that time of possession and really set up and establish everybody's confidence.
So we'll see if they can do just that, Steve. See if they can get one back here. Say they do. 7-3 is not a unsurmountable deficit, especially with a whole half to play. But good defense by Brighton, able to force that turnover, that errant pass. And Brighton's going to look to clear. Jeremy Fehoko is going to take that. This is his first year playing lacrosse.
Oh, well, that was an excellent check that he threw. We saw that a lot with Waterford, the Waterford school yesterday. They wait till you get your hands up to make the pass, and then right then they throw that check. You don't realize that they're close enough to get a stick on your hands, and the pass goes errant.
Yeah, Fehoko also a basketball and football star for Brighton, so trying his hand at lacrosse, and so far so good as he's seen lots of time. Headed to after high school, he's going to head on an LDS mission to Tonga. Wow. So that's always an adventure, heading to Tonga, no matter what it's for.
How many times have you been to Tonga, Tim?
I've only read about it in books.
Well, great job on that last possession by Hayden Jensen. There was a scrum, and he was able to scoop that ball and just turn it upfield.
Oh, great play there by Logan, whether it was intentional or not. That's going to be just 22, Peyton Stokes. I think he was looking for Dodd, and the pass was just errant and found its way in the back of the net.
The old hockey play there, you get somebody kind of in front of the cage to deflect it so the keeper can't get a beat on it. Yeah, it looked like the defender knocked the pass down, but it makes it hard for the goalie to stop. I remember playing back in high school at Mountain View High School. I played defense. I checked a player on the doorstep, and my goalie was right there to stop it, but the ball popped out and up over my goalie's head and right into the cage.
So the pass takes a deflection. He finds the back of the net, making the score Brighton 7, Logan 3, about 3:25 left in the second half. So a little fortunate bounce there for the Grizzlies, and that's the kind of play you need, Steve, to get some momentum. But we've got a whistle, and looks like a timeout by Brighton. Again, 3:19 left in this second quarter of the first half. Steve, if you're Logan, what are you telling your team here?
You got to boost that confidence in your players right now. They've had some successes when they've been able to possess and throw it around. I think you tell them to make the smart pass on offense, and on defense to just stay tight. You want to be able to slide from a good angle. If they stay a little bit lower, a little more towards the cage, they can make that slide easier. It's easier said than done, though, too, because Brighton has good outside shooters as well. But given the two, I would take that outside shot versus that right-hand alley dodge any day. So I think you tell them they're doing great. They're in this game. They're playing with, this powerhouse program, and you just encourage them to play the way that they know how to play. I think if you're the Logan team, you don't feel that you've given your best performance thus far, and you can play better. I think if you're Brighton, you're feeling pretty good, but with as many shots as you've had on cage, you'd like to have a few more goals on the board.
Sure, Logan coming in this game on an 8-game win streak, Steve. So that is in jeopardy here today. Certainly a team that knows how to win, knows how to play, and we'll see if they can turn things around here and go into the halftime break. Maybe get another goal or two, go into the halftime break with a little deficit, and then it's anyone's game in the second half. See if they're able to come out with some momentum and make this one a close one.
Yeah, I think if you're either team, you're not going to be super satisfied if the scoreboard stays the same going into the second half. Logan would like to cut it by 1 or 2, and Brighton would like to extend it by 1 or 2 to really feel like they are where they should be. So,
sure, and Brighton goes out of the timeout and throws the ball away. Coach will not be happy with that. And so an opportunity here for Logan is to turn some of that momentum and get a goal back. They're going to get into their offense, and like you talked about earlier, Steve, they're going to try to get some confidence in their players, work the ball around a little bit, and see if they can't find an opening.
Like how spread out you see the Logan players way above the box. You're going to make that easy pass. You're just going to do what you need to do to get the easy pass and catch.
Early slide by Owen, able to get the takeaway and gets it up to Fehoko, who's going to take it. Oh, and he wants to weave through 4 or 5 players. I think that works on a basketball field or a court, Steve, but not today. We got a whistle, and Logan is going to call a timeout. I'm a little confused, Steve, because the Logan purple and the Jordan purple kind of look the same. So it's a little confusing for me since we are at Jordan. but Logan with the timeout there. So, good series there for Logan. Just, didn't see the slide coming on that offense. So what would you do differently in that offensive set?
That one's tough. He looked like he was trying to roll out of it. His legs got kind of tangled up there, and, Turf Monster bit his toe a little bit maybe. So what I would like to see out of Brighton, you got to pass that ball. You make that pass, I think that's a goal, and it really gives you that momentum. We always talk about finishing quarters strong because it builds that momentum to go into the next quarter or the next half. But, yeah, Logan, I don't mind testing the waters like that. You just got to keep your feet, I guess.
Maybe move it a little quicker, when you see that slide coming or need a teammate to call that slide out.
Well, you notice the slide coming so early from Brighton. I think you almost do a faux dodge to draw that slide early and move the ball.
Yep, of course, if a slide's coming, that means someone's open. If Brighton's up to par, they'll have a second slide, a two slide coming to cover that open man. But occasionally you can catch a guy snoozing down there on the crease and get an easy one. So.
And if you can move the ball quick enough, if one man has drawn two guys, there's always somebody open around the backside somewhere. And I think Logan can take advantage of that. They're athletic enough and their stick skills are good enough that they can make things happen one-on-one, which they have, making Brighton slide early. And so they can move the ball quickly and maybe take advantage of the early slide.
Logan coming off the timeout, going to clear here. And we'll see if they can do what we've just talked about, Steve, and put some of this talk into practice. There's Dodd. Nice move. Great shot. And a goal to bring one back off the timeout. Great little off-ball movement there by Dodd.
Yeah, just, takes the team on his shoulders this time, decides he wants it, gets the ball. And, again, as a defender – you don't want to be caught with your feet standing still. And it's tough to do because you want to see the ball and you turn to see your guy and he's already got his feet moving. That's what Dodd does really well there. Sees the back of his defender's helmet and gets his feet moving. Catches it coming above GLE and just too easy.
He must be Italian.
What's that?
Because he meet the ball.
You meet the ball. That's right. You got to meet the ball.
That's a Coach Holman special for you. So. Dodd with a nice little bit of footwork there, though, and able to get that goal. Brings the lead cuts the lead to only 3 for Brighton. Like you said, Steve, it's important to come out of these quarters with the momentum. So Logan steals a little bit back. If they can get a good defensive stop here, whether they get a goal or not on the other end, I think that'd be a huge victory.
Yeah, if you're the Bengals, I think you wanna hold for the last shot or close to the last shot here. Work it around, test the waters, try some dodges and things, and just see what's there. Maybe take a possession shot from the outside a little early in the clock. But
good pass by Reese to find Avalos. Avalos just unable to find that shot as a good defense, pushing him out of the center there. But Schmidt with the backup.
Yeah, you hate for the man to even catch it in there if you're Logan, but at the same time, defender did a good job of keeping his body on him and making sure he couldn't get momentum towards the cage for a shot.
Oh, Schmidt finds Avalos. Folks, Avalos was on that backside setting the pick. Just does a simple little loop around the crease, and Schmidt finds him wide open.
Reminiscent of that Dom Starsia offense there at UVA at University of Virginia. They run that two-man game. You see him set the pick, then he sneaks around the backside of the crease. Both defenders are looking at the ball, and it's just one-on-one with the keeper. Throws a great fake, too. I think sometimes players try to throw too many or try to just put it directly on cage. Throws one fake to get the goalie the opposite of where he's going to put the ball, and then buries it.
So nice little play by Avalos to extend the Brighton lead, 8-4, with a minute left here. Sione Lund coming up with it. And that is just all power right there, folks. No one's taking away that ball from him. My hunch is, Steve, is he's got the black shorts on. We've got a whistle. His end cap came off. My hunch, though, Steve, is he's wearing those black shorts because his thighs are so thick that they don't have any orange ones for him. Okay. My hunch. He is a big dude. I don't know if it translates on camera, but like we said earlier in the broadcast, going to Stanford on a full-ride football scholarship. So uses his speed and power there to just get past the Logan defenders and give Brighton the key possession. Good shot by Peterson. Nice save, though, by Anderson.
Oh, great stick there by the Logan defense.
We've got a whistle, and that's going to be in the crease. Logan's going to get the ball here. 24 seconds remaining, and we'll see if they can get a goal here, Steve. And they throw it out of bounds. Unfortunate. Anderson looking upfield, trying to find Jensen, but Jensen running away from the ball, which isn't easy to catch. Schmidt, though, heads up play, finds Ebling, who gets the shot off, but then falls in the crease. Logan's going to get it back. 10 seconds remaining.
Like how quickly Brighton reset as soon as, they brought the ball back in. They get that quick whistle, and they move toward the cage. You've got all guys moving towards being a threat.
And that's going to do it for this first half. Brighton's taken an 8-4 lead into halftime. If you've got questions for us, folks, tweet at us at Tim Haslam, TIMHASLAM, and we will answer those when we come back from the break. Again, your score, number 3, Brighton, 8. Number 7, Logan, 4. Join us for the second half in about 10 minutes.
Tribal West is the first name in lacrosse out west. For more than 15 years, Tribal West has been gearing up beginners to ballers. Our online store is super easy, and we save you time and money. And team stores, let us do your work. Our deals for both men's and women's MCLA teams are flat out laxtastic. We just made that up. Sublimated unis, made in the USA, and delivered on time. Tribal West, proud to be family owned and player operated. Tribal West, look good, play better.
As long as I can remember, lacrosse was probably the most important thing in my life.
To have something like that follow me along all the way through my college and have it associated with my friends and my family and everything that I've done is what it kind of means to me.
I've seen it create opportunity for a ton of different guys, and the opportunities it's created for me to see success and to learn.
It really teaches you hard work, dedication. It's something that I want to keep with me.
All right, guys, let's have a good time today. Possession!
When my priorities started to change and lacrosse couldn't be as big a part of my life as it had been, I found that officiating was a way for me to stay involved with the game, but it provided a lot of flexibility for me setting my own schedule, but I could still be around the game.
It's another step and it's another segue to still staying involved and also having that balance, because, it's hard having that work-life balance. And where officiating, I can do that on the weekend. I can do that after my work. And it's still giving me that, camaraderie as well. That's certainly what I miss.
I literally thought I was just going to be officiating for 1 year. That was my goal. Referee for 1 year and then get into coaching and stay involved in the game that way. The second I put on the stripes, fell in love with it. Absolutely loved every aspect of it. The demands, the challenges, trying to be the best out there every single game.
Officiating is something that has been a great outlet for me. Post-college and during college, I was able to make a little money on the side while getting to stay involved in the game in a different aspect than playing. And I think for girls our age or boys coming out of college, this is a perfect outlet to stay involved.
Officiating definitely translates to all aspects of my life. I've met great guys that I'm able to kind of emulate, and you gain a lot of information from those guys. And also the in-game stuff, you know, problem solving, being confident, communicating through a kind of stressful time are all things that you can translate to your daily life.
Being able to say, okay, well, I can take the opportunities and the lessons that I've learned on the lacrosse field, and I'm not scared of anything, and I'm not afraid to voice my own opinions, and really kind of stand up for myself in a way that's non-confrontational but still very authoritative, I think is a huge advantage as an official.
I think officiating has taught me that there's things that are bigger than yourself. And the best part about officiating, when you feel like you've done a good job and other people have said you've done a good job, is you only get involved when you have to. You're there to officiate the game, you're there to enforce the rules, interpret the rules, and the less visible you are, the better.
You know, even if we're not instructing the players, what we do and say out on the field is helping those players to develop and become better.
You really get to keep that connection with the sport. You get to make connections with the players, with the coaches, and with the fans. It makes it a lot of fun being able to be in the game and still be a part of the game by being an official.
Thanks, buddy. Good job.
Being like one of these first few younger officials, I think that we can definitely start a trend, and I think if there's anything I can say or maybe just one little thing that can help more people get involved, I feel like I can definitely make an impact that way.
You feel the intensity of the game, you're a part of the game, and that gives you a chance to still, even though you're not playing, be a part of something special. I think, you know, when you go through this and you start getting bigger playoff games and you're starting to do things, you're part of something.
So one of my favorite officiating moments was after a game, and a parent approached us and just congratulated us on doing a great job and that they really appreciate our time. So that's always a positive thing when, regardless of win or lose, you have parents that can say, whether my child won or lost, we feel like you refereed a fair game.
Big games, the roar of the crowd, the anticipation, getting ready in the locker room, getting my things together at home, kind of thinking about what's going on. The feeling, there's a feeling there that I really enjoyed as a player, knowing a big game was coming. And officiating has done that for me again.
I think our players have such a love and passion for the game, and so once they graduate, for them to be able to move on and give back as an official, help to grow the game, help to influence young people, I think that's a wonderful thing for them to do as they go into their adult life.
As our sport grows, there is a lack of officials out there, and it just gives players at all levels more of an opportunity to play. And to play in an environment that is officiated by players that have played the game allows for those young players to play at their best.
The speed of our game has increased tremendously, and so I think it's really important that our officials hold themselves to that same level. And having younger officials come into the game, people who have played at that fast pace and can make decisions at that fast pace and be physically fit, will help our game continue to grow and continue to rise up.
The benefits really are just a deeper understanding of the sport, a whole nother side of it. For the most part, our student athletes are very smart individuals, and I think we all have a passion for learning, so you know, you get to learn something completely different and new.
Officiating is your way to stay involved. It is incredible experience. You're running up the field with the girls. You feel like you are still a player. You get to meet an incredible community of other officials.
I'm Ryan Powell.
I'm Brett Hughes.
I'm Zach Greer.
I'm Brian Silka.
We're the Stripes.
I'm Megan White.
I'm Anthony Kelly.
Griffin Halliday. Logan Halliday. And we grow the game.
And I grow the game.
I grow the game.
We grow the game.
And I grow the game.
I grow the game.
And I grow the game.
And I grow the game, baby.
And I grow the game. And I grow the game.
Welcome back, lacrosse fans, from the first half break, also known as halftime, in this first Class A semifinal between the number 3 Brighton Bengals and the number 7 Logan Grizzlies. Our second game today features the number 1 Park City Miners taking on the number 5 Juan Diego Soaring Eagle. So after this game is over, come back and stick around for that game. I think you might have to watch. I think you might have to find that stream on whatever platform you're viewing it on. But Steve, we got our first tweet. Colin Lewis tweets in, how will the move to an officially sanctioned sport impact the game of lacrosse in Utah? What should parents expect?
I know that my compatriot Tim is a little bit nervous about the move up, but I personally am very optimistic about it. Everywhere that the sport has been sanctioned, it has grown. I think it's the right move for the sport. And while there will be an adjustment period, you can see, some of these schools like Judge Memorial and Juan Diego as 3A schools, I believe, right now, who may very well dominate that category, or there might not be enough 3A. They'll play up in 4A and stuff. There will be an adjustment there, but schools will get on board. You'll have the support of the athletic director and the districts and things, and I think use of facilities and the sport being visual at the schools, especially as a teacher, I've seen this firsthand. It helps to grow the game a lot. For example, Westlake High School, last year getting a Class C championship really boosted the visibility of the sport there, and they were able to do some things. The school recognized them, and it helped them out.
Great individual effort there by Justice Peterson, able to get the loose ball in the wing and spin around a guy for the goal, giving Brighton a 9-4 lead.
I apologize. I talked over a lot of the action there. Just a crazy turn of events. You had a loose ball in the middle, and it squirts out, and then just a wonderful kind of backhanded spin dodge there with a stick in the wrong hand, able to get his hands free right on the doorstep.
Yeah, going back to your question, the question about sanctioning, what should parents expect? I think they'll be able to expect the sport to be run, just like it is like a football or a basketball. So you'll have coaches that are employed by the school, not necessarily a parent board, which will be different. Access to facilities, like you talked about, will be improved. Obviously nothing is ever guaranteed for anything, right? But definitely a step in the right direction. Steve mentioned I'm a little hesitant, only in the sense that I think a lot of people, there could be a lot of people that were expecting one thing and actually another thing will happen. So interesting to see, though. Like Steve said, it can only be good because of the growth. Like you said, it's grown everywhere it's been sanctioned. There's several schools still in the Salt Lake Valley who don't have club teams, and so it'll be fun to see them finally get teams should the athletic director choose. And I think that's the other thing, Steve, is it's all up to the school, those decisions, right? It's very possible, highly unlikely, but possible that a team like Brighton or Logan, their AD just says, nope, we don't want to carry it. So, and they don't have to. So, again, though, unlikely, but possible. So lots of changes will happen here in the next 7, 8, 9 years. Like I said, teams that don't have club teams now will be fielding teams like Hunter or Granger, Contwood, Taylorsville, schools that have been in the Salt Lake Valley for a long time, but don't have club teams. So it'd be interesting to see, and we could talk the whole broadcast about sanctioning. I think
everybody's just excited to see the Spanish Fork Dons finally field the team. I think that's where sanctioning really is going to help, is getting mascot names where they ought to be.
We're done seeing the Warriors out there on the Spanish Fork helmets. We want to see the Dons. So the Spanish Fork, though, has taken on the mascot of the Warriors simply because there's 3 or 4 high schools that play on that club team. So,
what their dance team, I believe, is called?
The Donettes.
The Donettes, which always makes me want to go to the gas station and get those little donuts that they have there.
Yeah,
I think
the
it's spelled
powdered
the
ones.
same way. Yeah.
There you go. Noah Lund with a shot. Ricochets off the helmet of his defender. And Brighton backs it up. So lots of chatter locally about sanctioning. Lots of people happy. I talked to the sanctioning committee after it happened. And to be honest, Steve, they were kind of surprised. They walked out of the meeting going, what just happened? Did they say yes? And so you see a great goal there by Peterson, able to get that high-to-high rip to get his third goal of the game.
Peterson, a big athletic kid, but he's still really shifty. It's a good combination. You see him just move his feet. He's got great footwork. He plants that downfield foot and gets that turn. Both defenders go flying by him. If you're a young player, work on your footwork. It's not just stick skills that are going to get you there. You need to have fast feet like that.
Score is 10-4 for Brighton. 9:13 left in this quarter. Our clock's a little wrong on your broadcast just because our trailer is off-site. Well, it's behind the stadium, and so they don't have a direct access to the clock. But Brighton going to come up with it. That's Sione Lund. We saw this play in the first quarter. He opted to pull it out. This time he passes it to Schmidt, who's going to try a little wraparound and gets it. The nice backhanded goal by Schmidt, and Brighton is on a roll.
Brighton's got the foot on the gas right here. I think you saw some kind of pep talk at halftime that's got them moving. And just if you can constantly win faceoffs, it's very difficult for the other team to stop you. You see there just a nice little backhander, trickles off the goalie's foot and gets across the line.
Sione Lund out there again for Brighton. Facing off against Colton Tuttle, number 15, who leads the team in caused turnovers for Logan. And we'll see if he can slow down Lund, who's been dominant at the faceoff act so far today. And he gets it, but O'Malley's going to call a kicking the crease, which I think is fair. I believe that's what it looked like to me, as Brighton's going to retain possession here.
I apologize, Tim. Earlier in the broadcast, I mentioned Cache Valley and how well they've built their lacrosse teams. I didn't mention Mountain Crest, who won a Division II title back, 7-8 years ago now. My Orem team, we played against them in the playoffs, lost to them by 1.
That's another goal by Schmidt. That's 2 in a row for him. 3 goals on the night, 2 assists. Just having his way here early in this second half.
Logan's going to need to figure out how to get a possession off the face-off and stop the bleeding at this point. Just too many opportunities off these unsettled situations and too much possession for the Bengals.
Logan goalie Zach Anderson not able to see the ball well or something, Steve. He hasn't been as effective as some of his counterparts.
Yeah, I think he's made some good plays here in the first half especially, but it's hard once a team gets rolling and you're facing so many close shots. It's easy to lose confidence or to get inside your own head a little bit.
Logan able to come up with the face-off, but a tough Brighton ride escapes. Good play there by Logan. That's Tuttle getting the ball upfield, and that's Dodd trying to channel his inner Chris Cloutier, and goes just wide, but Logan on the backup. If you don't know who Chris Cloutier is.
It looks like the officials, are calling that a pass. I don't know that I agree with that call. Sorry, tell us all about Chris Cloutier.
The officials obviously don't know about Chris Cloutier because that's a shot in his book. So North Carolina player just scored some incredible goals in the last couple games. All one-handed, box-out goals. As we have a flag down here, they're going to get number 20 for Brighton. That's Owen. And I think that's his second of the game. So playing aggressively out there, refs felt differently on this penalty.
Yeah, so we'll see that Grizzly man-up squad again. They're 1 for 2 on the day, 50%. And we'll see if they can move the ball around, maybe run something to get their hands free and get a good shot on cage.
Just got a text in from one of the members of the sanctioning committee who thinks we should talk about sanctioning the whole time. And that's okay. Lots to talk about. A lot will be said about it in the coming months and years. And again, looking forward to that 2019-2020 season when it comes into play. One thing, Steve, I don't think a lot of people are talking about But if you look at the spring sports now at schools, you have men's tennis, you have track and field, you have soccer, and you have baseball. And so they're going to add another one. Most schools will add another one in lacrosse.
Yeah, in a lot of states they play boys soccer in the fall, along with girls soccer. It would be nice to see if that might be an option on the table for Utah as well to kind of balance out now that lacrosse is going to be sanctioned.
Yeah, and my point is, I don't know what they'll do, but my point is that there will be a lot of sanctioned men's sports in the spring. So they may look at moving one of those other sports to another season. And I think if it was one, it would be soccer. I don't think you can play baseball in the fall. That's just un-American. Brighton looking to extend their lead here. The score is 12-4, 6:45 left in this third quarter. It's been all Brighton in this second half. Coming out of that halftime break, scoring 4 quick goals as they have this 12-4 lead. Again, if you're just joining us, Logan and Brighton played earlier this season. And, another great goal by Peterson. He is woken up in the second half, getting his 4th of the game.
Peterson just taking over this game right now. That one, again, just goes back to that alley dodge down the right side. You see him catch it and swing all the way around. That wasn't that goal.
That was the previous goal. Great goal by Schmidt.
Great jump shot by Schmidt on the last one for sure.
And, Peterson just taking over this game. Steve, you and I were talking at the break. This game, we mentioned – This game should be a lot. Brighton should be up more than they are, and that was our halftime message. And so, clearly, the coaches heard us down there on the field, and the players as well. And they've taken it to heart here, reeling off 5 straight goals. So,
yeah, when you dominate time of possession, when you dominate the number of shots that you've had, you feel like you should be up 13-4 as opposed to 7-4.
What do you do, Steve, if you're Logan?
The number one thing is get a possession, honor a possession. They have had the one man up possession in the second half, and it's hard to think of much other time that they've had the ball. You need to honor that possession, make sure you're taking care of the ball, being smart with it. That's where everything starts. The other thing, you've got to slide earlier on these athletic Brighton players who dodge well. You need somebody in a position to slide. You need a 2-slide, which they didn't have there, to be able to have that confidence to slide early, which means the defense has to talk more.
On top of those things, Steve, I think you need some momentum plays. You need some individuals to step up big, and that's what just happened there with Anderson, able to get one of his only saves of the game. It's always good if you've got a great goalie getting momentum behind your defense. That always seems to make them play better, and then in turn that makes your attack want to score goals to support that defense. So maybe we can see Logan here get a couple momentum plays and able to get some goals on the board.
Yeah, we've seen that they can score on the Brighton defense. It's just a matter of getting that ball back, getting it off faceoffs, and being able to have that possession to score.
Looking over the scores from this year from Logan, Steve, they've only been held under 10 goals once, and that was the March 10th game against Park City. And their last several games, they've had 4 games with over 20 goals, 22 goals. So a team that knows how to score being just held scoreless here in this game so far by the Brighton defense.
Yeah, Brighton defense, they do a great job of putting pressure on, getting a stick on your hands, pressing out a little bit on the adjacents, which are going to be those easiest passes, just the next guy over to throw it to. It makes it difficult. They pop out quickly and pop back in quickly, so it's hard to measure when you should pass that ball, when it's going to be easy, when it's going to get to your guy without a Brighton defender right in his face.
So we'll see what the Grizzlies do here on one of their only possessions of this quarter. Going to get the ball to Dodd, which is probably a wise choice. Dodd looks for Thomas, who does a nice spin move able to find space, get his hands free, and bury it in the back of the net. His second of the day.
Nice job of Thomas by not forcing that one early. Notices he's got 2 defenders right there. They've got their sticks on his lower hand, his bottom hand. So he rolls back to the opposite side to his offhand. And young players, that offhand, that's why it's so important. Be able to shoot with your left. And he has great field sense to be able to turn and rip it almost without seeing the cage. So he catches here, and he'll just roll, and he knows where that goal is. He doesn't even get eyes on it before he shoots it. Get out on the field, shoot a bucket of balls, and you get that feel for where the cage is.
Thomas with 45 goals in the season. So like we talked about, Dodd kind of overshadows Thomas and Ben Jacob on the Logan team just because of all of his goals, but 2 other potent players for this Logan offense that know how to score. So good to see Thomas get on the board again, and Logan take this game to a 13-5 ball game with Brighton leading. 3:40 left in this third quarter.
The Bengals, even being up as many as they are, not content to sit on it, and just makes a beautiful cut there on the back door. I don't know what happened with Logan's keeper, but he loses his footing, and just an empty net for an easy goal there.
Yeah, that's number 2, Jake Neidigger, coming in with only 7 goals. And a nice little play there as it looks like Anderson loses his footing.
Yeah, well, and it's like we talked about earlier with, I think that was the goal by Dodd coming up from GLE. Once you see the back of your defender's helmet and his feet are just standing still, move. Cut towards the middle of the field, and good things are going to happen.
7 Bengals now on the score sheet in the goal column. Good to see that from a good team effort. You don't just see 1 or 2 guys scoring all the goals, Steve. And like I said, 7 Bengals on the score sheet.
It's like we talked about earlier in the game. They've got so many playmakers. They've got so many good players who play fundamentally well, and also are athletic at positions all over the field. So not surprising to see so many different guys get a tally on the board.
Yeah, that's just part of the Brighton way. They've been successful for a long time. Like we talked about earlier, been in the semis or championship game for the last 6 or 7 years, it feels like. They had back-to-back championships in 2010, 2011, I believe. They won the UHSLL championship when the leagues were split. Oh, a nice shot. Top corner. It looked like we had a similar goal like in the first half, Steve. That net just has a way of pushing those shots out.
Yeah, somebody who needs to measure that top pipe and make sure it's regulation size. Seems a bit big.
So Logan a little unlucky, but good momentum booster. Oh, and a good shot there by Logan as they get the backup. So Logan kind of awakening here in this second half and able to get some great shots on cage. 2:16 left in this third quarter.
So would you say that the Grizzlies are coming out of hibernation?
Yeah, I'll say that.
It was snowing earlier. I think
Sure.
it's appropriate.
Sure. Tough defense there by Brighton. Logan, though, able to still retain. That's Rio Thomas with the ball. He's got 2 goals in this game so far. Nice inside feed. Oh, that's going to be number 26. Number 26, Alex Larson, finding his friend Kean Ben Jacob.
Yeah, and this is just a great find and finish, right? Draws the defense, heads start to turn to watch the dodge, and they lose track of the man on the crease. And just a great job of getting it and finishing it. You like that quick stick. He doesn't have time. There's 2 defenders right there to throw a fake or anything else. Just puts it on cage where the goalie doesn't have time to turn around and find it.
Score is 14-6 for Brighton. Number 3 seeded Brighton going up against number 7 Logan. Logan about an hour and a half away from here, north, tucked up in Cache Valley. If you ever get a chance to go up to Logan, do it. It's a beautiful part of the state, very scenic. I would advise going in the summertime though. The winters are notoriously chilly.
If you go up to Logan, make sure that you set a morning aside to go to Herms and get breakfast.
Okay, Herms.
Herms.
Another famous place is the Angie's. You ever been to Angie's?
Angie's, I like
yeah,
Angie's.
They have a famous dessert where they literally bring you feels like 2 gallons of ice cream in a kitchen sink. And if your table finishes it off, you get the famous sticker that says, "I clean the kitchen sink." Do you have one of those, Steve?
I do not have one of those. I know I used to look like I did, but I don't have one of those. Herms, they do all. It's the the fresh local, all of that stuff. Everything I've had there has been phenomenal.
You probably won't see Steve on camera this game, but he was recently the winner of the Biggest Loser challenge at his work. So he's trimmed down about 50 pounds?
About 40 right now. I think from morbidly obese to just obese, I think is where I'm at.
Well, you look good in my book, Steve. Logan here with the ball, and a great goal by Thomas. That's going to be his 3rd of the game. And Logan on a little bit of a run here, making the score 14-7 with 33 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. Steve, you ever seen a team come back from 7 down in a quarter?
I'm sure I have. I've watched enough lacrosse, but Thomas just does a great job. He shifts his momentum from one side of the crease to the other. The defender has to deal with that net in the way. And all you need is one step on a guy, and your hand's free, and you can score that goal. Nice job by putting it again over the kind of the far shoulder of the keeper, getting him to move towards that other pipe, and then putting it where he isn't.
Logan coming up with the face-off win. And the momentum's clearly on their side, Steve. About 20 seconds left. We'll see if they can get another goal here before the quarter ends. That would be huge for this team as they look to chip away at this Brighton lead. Kind of a forced shot there. Kind of, probably thought he had a little less time than he did. And that's going to do it for this 3rd quarter. Brighton taking a 14-7 lead into the break. We've got, if you want to tweet at us, go ahead and do so. Twitter handle is @TimHaslam, TimHaslam. Let me quickly refresh here, Steve. What do you think Logan will be talking about in their timeout?
Oh, just keep doing what we're doing right now. We've seen some great individual efforts, some great team goals. That offense is coming from behind the cage. So I think we push it back there with Dodd. We push it back there with some of our skilled players that we trust with the ball. And we just keep moving that ball, getting the defense to turn their heads and find those guys on crease, find the backside cutters, or get our one-on-one matchups we want.
Yeah, we'll see what they end up doing here. We got a tweet in, our 2nd tweet of the game. We're going to take a quick break before we come back to that tweet, though. Join us here in a few seconds.
Tribal West is the first name in lacrosse out west. For more than 15 years, Tribal West has been gearing up beginners to ballers. Our online store is super easy, and we save you time and money. And team stores, let us do your work. Our deals for both men's and women's MCLA teams are flat out laxtastic. We just made that up. Sublimated unis, made in the USA, and delivered on time. Tribal West, proud to be family owned and player operated. Tribal West, look good, play better.
We're back, lacrosse fans, for this 4th quarter of the first Class A semifinal between the number 3 Brighton Bengals and the number 7 Logan Grizzlies. Steve, like I mentioned before the break, we have another tweet. This one coming in from LaxLife18. He asked, did Sione Lund forget his uniform shorts? We talked about that earlier. He must just be tuning in. I don't know the answer, but my hunch is that his thighs are so big that the shorts don't fit him, so he has to improvise and use his own. So hopefully that answers your question, LaxLife.
So in other words, you can't hide that thunder.
You can't. And if you know anything about football stars who have full ride scholarships to Stanford, their thighs are massive. So Logan wins that first faceoff, able to get a good possession here, down by 7 with a whole quarter to play. Nice shot there, but Brighton comes up with it. Folks, we won't be able to show you, but they made an announcement during the break that the CEO of U.S. Lacrosse, Steve Stenerson, is in attendance here tonight. I was actually looking out the window, Steve, and I thought that I spotted him. He's got a nice big U.S. Lacrosse jacket on, so I was looking at him, and then it hit me that he's actually come to Utah before to talk at the Utah Lacrosse Association annual conference, and so good to see him, probably coming to check out the games. Might be in town for a big announcement at the college level. I don't know. I'll have to go talk to him after the game and see what's going on. But looks like we're going to have a timeout here by Brighton. 10:56 left in this ball game. Bengals lead 14-7. Steve, what do you tell? If you're the coach of Brighton, what are you telling your squad right now?
Let's tighten it up, is what I'm telling them. Let's make sure that we get a good possession here. Let's work the ball around the horn. We have doubled up on this team. Let's really play our game and give our defense a rest. Because the defense has been facing a lot of shots. Logan's getting a lot of that momentum. We want to take some of that away. We want to slow it down. We want to take away some of their steam. And then we want to get, maybe just try an alley dodge down the right side and try the stuff that's worked. And if not, we can pull it out, move the ball, and continue to go.
Steve, you've coached at pretty much every level. When do you start bringing in your backups? Do you start rotating them in now with some of the first teamers? Do you keep your first teamers out there? What's the plan there?
I think if it were me, just with the push that the Grizzlies have been making right now, I keep my starters in, my number ones in for just a little bit longer. It looks like we have Logan Ball. I don't know if we had a penalty during the timeout, but this is interesting. Anyway, I think I keep them in. I think I keep my ones in a little longer until I feel like we've kind of stopped this run and stopped this momentum, because we've talked about it before on previous broadcasts. It only takes 6 to 8 seconds to score a goal in lacrosse from the face-off X. So you need to be cognizant of that and try to get a little momentum back on your side.
Good play there by Logan. Just an unfortunate pass there, unable to come up with it, and the Bengals will hold it. So we'll see what the Bengals try to do here. You were mentioning, though, that they need to tighten it up, get into their sets, kind of run their offenses. They, you don't, like you said, you don't want to look too much forward, but, big championship game here on Saturday. That game's at 7 o'clock at Utah High School on Saturday. If you can't make it, I hope you can join us on the broadcast for that. Should be a good one with whoever they are. Oh, and there's a great goal by Schmidt, getting his 4th of the night. Just a great play there.
Yeah, and again, it's easier said than done. As a defender, you try not to look at stick, right? You want to watch the guy's belly button, his hips, something else. The defender follows his stick just a little too much, plays a little too high, gives him too much room, and he's able to throw just a quick face dodge and get his hands free with enough angle to put it in the cage.
Yeah, Schmidt's too experienced, to be guarded like that. 46 goals on the year, 25 assists, leads the team with 4.7 points per game. Heading to SVU, Southern Virginia, to continue playing lacrosse there. A nice D3 school back in Virginia. So coached by a guy that's well known in these parts, Jason Lamb, who's done a great job at building that program. Oh, and another great goal there. Number 3, Noah Lund finds 25. Albert Easton, who gets his 2nd goal of the day.
So you see the Bengals start to step on the gas a little bit again here, and I think about now is the time that you were just asking about it. About now is the time where I start putting in my backups and letting my younger guys get some playoff experience. I think it would be really valuable for them, especially against a good team like Logan. You can't replicate playing against a team like that.
At what point do you start? So were you talking about putting your younger guys in for Brighton or for Logan?
For
or both?
Brighton. I don't know if I'm Logan. I think I show a little faith in my guys. I have them keep pushing, because if I've got seniors on the field, this is their last game. I'll let them stay on as long as they want.
And Brighton comes up with that face-off. Don't have the stats in front of me, but my hunch is that they've won, what would you say, Steve, 65% of the face-offs?
I'd put it probably closer to 70.
That's Justice Peterson with a nasty stick fake that gets the whole defense going, and just a great individual effort taking it to the cage.
Just great stick work there. Man alive. That stick fake was just beautiful. Something to behold. Everybody moves, and he's just got that one-on-one with the keeper. I think the goalie was the only one that wasn't faked out by that fake pass.
It's a great play by Peterson. Again, going to the University of Utah next year to take his talents up on the hill with Coach Holman.
Reminiscent of basketball sometimes. You see a guy throw a fake pass around a guy's hip, and the guy turns around, not realizing that his man still has the ball.
That was my specialty in dunk ball, was my fake passing abilities. So he was usually able to get the guy leaning and then just took it in for the slam. So
everybody has to be good at something.
And that's all I've got. So score is 17-7 here with 9 minutes left in this fourth quarter as Brighton continues to roll, reminiscent of their game earlier played in the season when Brighton won 19-12. Sort of on that pace here. Wouldn't surprise me to see Brighton get 2 more goals and then put in the backups who might, get tested by this good Logan offense. It's been interesting to see on this matchup specifically, Steve. You have Thomas going against the short stick. And typically if a coach will look at the roster and say, oh, this guy is the second leading goal scorer for the team, we're going to put a pull on him. But they've got enough faith in the D-Mitty, Keb Heasley, to take on Thomas. And he's played well all game. It's always good to see a D-Mitty do well.
Yeah, I think it's a really underappreciated spot in lacrosse, and it's a lot of times going to be the difference between a good team and a great team. There are things like the stick skills of your poles, and then your D-Middies and their play.
We've got a flag down. We're going to get a penalty here on Cody Chase, who uses his size to commit that penalty. Looks like a cross-check, Steve?
I believe it was a cross-check.
1 minute penalty. If you've got questions for us, go ahead and tweet at us. The Twitter handle is at Tim Haslam, TimHaslam, and we'll do our best to answer those here on the broadcast.
Big rip off the wing. Went pipe or nothing there and just got a little high above the cage. But you like to see the Grizzlies going early and not waiting around and letting the time wind down on him.
Oh, nice shot. Great save by Brighton. Able to get his body in front of it. Hits the deck. Great save.
Yeah, you like that bounce shot, but it just doesn't get up high enough. It gets just right into the chest of the keeper who puts himself in a good position to make that save.
Haven't talked a lot about the Brighton goalie today. Houston Cranebull coming to this game with 95 saves and a 49% save average.
Yeah, he's had a solid game today. Like we've pointed out, Logan is a good offensive squad. They're averaging well over 10 goals a game, and they've been pretty stymied by this Brighton defense, which all starts with the man between the pipes.
That's right. Just a good individual effort there to keep Logan off the score sheet. And Steve, you're a girls lacrosse fan?
I have become one over the years. Yeah, I've covered a lot of lacrosse. If you're familiar at all, I wrote for the website Utah Lacrosse News for a while. And, I covered some girls' games. I've covered some women's college lacrosse as well, and I've developed an appreciation for it.
Great. It's a great sport, Steve. Obviously very different from the men's game as we see Kimball Reese here.
Just the alley dodge again.
Just running around his guys. Nice placement on that far pipe. Able to get his third goal of the game. Have an update, though. The Division I girls semifinals are being played down in American Fork. American Fork taking on Park City, tied 5-5 at halftime. Yeah. So Park City in danger of losing in that game. They, Steve, have been the state champions in the last 3 seasons.
That's right. They would be the third team to four-peat if they could win it again this year. At least a pretty reliable source told me yesterday that would be the case. So it'd be pretty impressive if they could. But American Fork's got a great program, too.
They do, and a great goal by Logan. Little signs of life. That's going to be 26. Alex Larson getting his first goal of the game.
Yeah, nice job by Dodd. Gets low. He looks like he has an angle. Some guys might force that shot. And then he finds Larson, who cuts at the right time. He waits for his guy to start a dodge, and then he sees the back of his defender's helmet, makes that cut, and a great job to move his stick. He catches it high, he drops it low, and he's so close to the cage that the goalie can't adjust in time.
Any of those listening to the broadcast who want to give us tweet at us, the Twitter handle is at Tim Haslam, TimHaslam. If you correctly tell us who the other 2 girls teams were to four-peat, we'll find a prize for you. Steve, you got a prize up your sleeve somewhere?
You know, I make killer barbecue, Tim.
Okay. There you go. Steve will come to your house and personally barbecue something for you. He is a professional pit master, which I was corrected on in one of our Utah games. They're not chefs or cooks. They're pit masters. And he's a professional. So tweet us again. That's at Tim Haslam. Tell us who the last two girls teams to four-peat were. And we'll see if we can get you a prize. We've got a timeout here by Brighton. If you're Logan, Steve, what are you telling your team? We've got 5:55 left. You're down by 10. What are you telling the guys?
I think at this point I'm telling them to take chances, right? We've got to go on offense. We've got to put pressure on. We've got to score quick on defense. Don't give up your body position, but let's throw some takeaway checks. Let's take some chances. Let's slide early, do some quick double teams. We've got to climb back into this thing, and it's not going to happen by us standing around and letting Brighton possess the ball.
It's a good point. What point do you start pulling the goalie to get the double team? Do it now?
You know, I think you might. I think you also might just send a slide early and leave a backside guy open and keep a goalie in the cage with the how good the Brighton shooters are from outside. It'll be interesting to see what Logan decides to do here.
We got a tweet in, Steve, coming from Jodo Lax 19. His profile says he's joining us from Tampa, Florida.
All right.
His question is, what is the deal with the do-rags? Is that a seasonal thing or just for the postseason? So he's referencing Brighton wearing their do-rags. You can see some of their attackmen wearing that white do-rag sticking out of their helmet. I don't know what the deal is. They've done it for the past couple years, so could just be an attackman thing or what. I think, though, Brighton's big recruit last year, Bubba Fairman, who some say was the best recruit in the country, is playing in the Under Armour All-American game. I think he started that trend, Steve. And I don't think it's a postseason thing. I think they've been doing it all year.
Yeah, it was really prominent on Bubba Fairman last year. It was very noticeable for the last couple of years. Obviously, he's been a good player for years. And so it seems like it's rubbed off on some of his teammates. So just a Brighton Bengals thing.
Yep, always always fun to see teams that take on certain traditions or quirks. Your favorite lacrosse tradition from any of the teams you played on?
That's a tough one, Tim. I don't know. We had so much fun at UVU. We drove these 15-passenger vans on our away games, and we would get our pump-up music going in the van before we stepped out, and we'd rock that whole van. I'm sure the rental company would be happy to know that. But we would get amped before we even left the vehicle to get out on the field and to play ball.
Steve played college lacrosse at UVU, then a Division II MCLA school. Was it UVSC at that time?
I played both UVSC and UVU.
Something special right there.
Wolverine both times, but I've got the old school gear. Our colors were black and white originally, and then we went to the green and gold. So
there you go. Steve also coached for UVU, took the team to a Division II national championship game, and lost 12-9.
12-9. We lost by 3 to St. Thomas. I tweeted at Concordia this year who won over St. Thomas, and they also are green and gold, and I told them felt like a brother in arms with them. It felt good to see them get that victory. So,
is St. Thomas the favorite Division II villain?
Oh, I don't know about villain, but they are the favorite team. I don't think they've developed a reputation of being the villain necessarily, but that might be more a Grand Valley State maybe or something like that. I don't know. But Division II I think is a lot of fun. If you get a chance to, if you're a high school kid or younger right now and you're thinking you'd like to play at the next level, but maybe you don't have the means to go to a D1 school or to get a scholarship, playing Division II MCLA was still really good lacrosse. It was a time of our lives.
Dodd finally able to find space. However, Brighton goalie Houston Cranball just comes up with a huge save. He's had a couple big saves in the second half.
Great foot save there, reminiscent of Trevor Tierney back in the day at Princeton and played for the Denver Outlaws and things. Yeah, you love to see those kick saves.
Oh, wide open. Another big save. And he's playing out of his mind, and he just says, I'm done saving these balls. Let's send it to the attack, see what they could do with it. Great outlet. Great catch. Just a crazy bit of events there. as number 2 comes down with it, and that's Jake Neidigger, able to come up with that 50-yard clear.
Yeah, getting some new names here from the Brighton roster, which is fun to see. You know, I know as an underclassman, it's always fun to get on the field and play in these types of games. We talked about traditions that we had. Another one that I just really liked is on away games after the games. We'd have 2 or 3 game weekends a lot of times because you try to not take too many trips because you're paying your own way in club lacrosse, and so we'd all be back at the hotel and everybody be getting ice to take an ice bath. So you just have a nice big line at the ice machine. All the dudes just chilling there and kind of hanging out, talking about the game, trading notes, and it's kind of a fun informal post-game tradition.
Always fun. You got a favorite tradition? Tweet at us at Tim Haslam. We'll read it over air. Steve, we asked earlier who the last 2 girls teams were to four-peat, and our boy John Atwood up in Logan watching this game. Who else would it be that would tweet at us with this answer? The very own Jordan High School and Woods Cross both had dynasties there in the early times of women's lacrosse.
I don't think he knew that off the top of his head, but he got so excited at the idea of me coming and hanging out and doing some barbecue that he just had to tweet in.
Great goal there by Logan, number 26. That's Alex Larson, able to find the back of the net off a nice feed from Dodd. And so John Atwood just get Steve's number, and he'll make it up here one of these days to Logan for some Pitmaster barbecue. We'll see how that goes. Send us a picture when it happens. But score is 18-9 here. Minute 15 left in this ball game as Brighton's trotting out their bench, putting in a new goalie, number 11. Canyon Curtis entering the game. This will be his 8th game of the season. Coming in, faced 77 shots, allowed 40, and 37 saves. So good to see everyone getting time. Steve, it's funny. You can tell the bench players because they all have their sweats on because they've been standing on the sidelines freezing for the last little while.
Hard to stay warm when you're not moving, Tim. Absolutely. Look like a bunch of goalies out there is what it looks like. Goalies traditionally will a lot of times they'll wear the baggy sweats so the dampen the impact when they take shots on their legs and things. So
that's right. We've had some weather here in the past two weeks. Typically this time of year is nice, but it snowed last night in the valley. A lot of houses waking up with snow, and a goal there. Couldn't quite get the number. That's 13. Having trouble finding him on my roster. There was one player who didn't have a number, and that could be him. So I'm going to give it to him, Lucas Crowley. I hope that's you. Great goal, though.
Yeah, it's fun to see, like we talked about, it's fun to see those guys who, don't see the field as often be able to score a goal in a game like this.
What I like,
you played in a semifinal.
Yeah, what I liked here is he could have taken a shot down towards GLE, took a hard step, got the defender to bite, and then improved his angle by running up more.
Well, it's just like your boy Quint Kesnick likes to say, take another step to greatness. That's what he did there.
Oh, who doesn't love Quint? Tweet at us if you don't like Quint. That could be trouble. Final seconds here of this game, just under 10, and Brighton's going to hold this one or take a shot.
Young guys getting a little excited.
Yeah, getting a little excited. The bench is excited. They're going to be returning to the championship game. And that's going to do it, folks. Brighton is advancing to the championship game. They will play the winner of Park City or Juan Diego on Saturday at 7 p.m. at Utah High School. Steve, what did you like today from the Bengals?
I mean, when they were on, they were on. The offense is potent. They've shown they can score in a hurry. It's just an avalanche of goals when they're on their game. You'd like to see them tighten up a few things and play a little cleaner, but overall, I think they played a really, really good game, and they're showing they're going to be a tough team, to beat come Saturday. I think it needs to be said, though, that Logan, what a fantastic season the Grizzlies have had. To be one of the 4 best teams left standing in the entire state of Utah, and lacrosse is growing. It's big here. that's impressive. They've done a great job, and hopefully the program just continues to build and Cache Valley continues to just get better and better.
It does. Typically the lacrosse hotbed in Utah has been the southeast corner of the Salt Lake Valley, and so to have a team that's not part of that come down from Logan and play well, just get a few unlucky breaks. Brighton just the better team today. Hopefully they can build on that, though, and they'll be back next year. So thanks for joining us, folks. Final score 19-9 for Brighton Bengals. We have another game coming up here in about 30 minutes. Join us for that game. Go find the other link, the other stream link. Thanks for joining us. Either coming from LaxAllStars, you're coming from UtahLax.org or UtahLacrosseNews.com. So however you were joining us, we thank you, and we'll see you back here in about 30 minutes.
Tribal West is the first name in lacrosse out west. For more than 15 years, Tribal West has been gearing up beginners to ballers. Our online store is super easy, and we save you time and money. And team stores, let us do your work. Our deals for both men's and women's MCLA teams are flat out laxtastic. We just made that up. Sublimated unis, made in the USA, and delivered on time. Tribal West, proud to be family owned and player operated. Tribal West, look good, play better.
See this one? I feel a test that I did not look that up.